Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Cole drops into the tack house and wants to know how Claire's first day on the job went. Victoria says she's not there yet, but tells him she was practically bursting with excitement when she left. They're proud and agree it's a whole new chapter for all of them. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle tells Claire she was great with Harrison today. Summer thanks her. Claire wants to know how the trial went. Kyle says she knocked it out of the park, and Summer says it's going well. Kyle tells Summer there's something she needs to know before Claire leaves. Jordan is alive. He explains she's at a maximum security facility. Summer gasps and says to Claire, "You knew about this, didn't you?" Claire admits she's known since this morning. She wanted to tell them right away, but Victor wanted to tell them, and she respected her family's wishes. Kyle tells Claire she can go and to come back at the same time tomorrow. Summer fumes. One day on the job, and she's already keeping secrets that could change everything. Summer wonders if Kyle hid the news about Jordan from her, because he was so determined to hire Claire. Kyle argues Claire had no involvement in her aunt surviving. What did she do? Pull her body out of the river? Hide her in a closet? Summer rants about him being condescending and mocking her. He apologizes, but this has nothing to do with Claire watching Harrison. Summer protests that it's the timing of it. She suggests they let Claire go now, before their son gets even more attached. Kyle says, "We're not firing her. You said yourself that our little boy is back to his sweet self. We're not taking that away from him." As Kyle storms upstairs, Summer fumes that it's not just his decision. She has a say in this too. Claire arrives at the tack house and greets her parents. She raves about her day with Harrison and says she's never had so much fun with caterpillars. They discuss the kid bouncing back from his ordeal, and Cole says she's part of his support system. Claire muses that Kyle said the same thing. Victoria figures Summer must have lightened up a bit. Claire says she's treating her more like an employee than a relative, and when she found out about Jordan, she accused her of hiding it purposely. Victoria offers to talk to her, but Claire doesn't want that. She goes on about Kyle being supportive and having great energy. He makes her believe she can do this. Cole twinkles. "Well, it sounds like you've made a friend." In the bar in Paris, Ashley asks Alan, "Why are you doing this to me?" They sat there in that bar together and caught up. They had an in-depth conversation. "I'm telling you right now, it happened. Alan has never been in this place." Tracy says maybe she's confused about the place. Ashley knows this is the place and even remembers the bartender. Alan doesn't think she's making it up. "I think it happened exactly as you say. It just didn't happen with me. I believe you spent the evening with my brother." In Chancellor Park, Summer thanks Chance for meeting her and asks what he was able to find out about Jordan. Chance says what Kyle told her checks out and assures her the facility is taking extra precautions. Summer concedes that her grandfather would be complaining if they weren't. She turned to him instead of Victor for answers because he's one of Claire's biggest champions. Chance is on her side always. Summer tells him that means a lot to her. She stews, and Chance reminds her, this is good news. Jordan's not a threat anymore. Summer says Claire knew Jordan was found and didn't say a word to them. Victor wanted to tell them, and she respected that, but all she knows is that Claire is already keeping secrets. Jordan may not be able to hurt Harrison now, but the person she groomed now has direct access to her son. Chance asks if Claire's given her a reason to worry. Summer says no, she was perfect and upbeat, and she hasn't seen Harrison that happy in a while. She's grateful, but no one seems to remember that Claire was also the perfect assistant to her grandmother before she tried to kill them all. She worries what might happen if Jordan reached out to her, but Kyle tells her she's overreacting. She feels like she was guilted into hiring Claire. That said, it's impossible to deny the connection Harrison and Claire have. She wants him to have that peace of mind. But she can't have the same peace of mind, knowing the reason she agreed to hire Claire is part of why she wanted to say no. Chance asks Summer if she's jealous of Claire. Summer knows how stupid it is, but if she's honest, yes. She's his mom and has to make him brush his teeth and eat vegetables, while Claire is new and exciting. Chance understands the complicated feelings. Summer says Harrison was practically doing cartwheels when Claire showed up with brownies, so did Kyle, and she doesn't think it was about the treats. Chance asks if he should be worried she's jealous about Kyle too. Summer reassures him, and they express how happy they are with each other. She admits that Harrison invited Claire to go on the Ferris wheel, not her, however. Chance realizes she's starting to feel like she's on the outside looking in. In the tack house, Claire heads upstairs and Cole remarks on how happy she seems. Victoria frowns. Kyle, I want Claire to make friends, of course, but I'm not sure he's the right choice. His relationship with Summer. They have a complicated history. Summer's not completely on board with Claire being the nanny, so she'll be at the center of the friction. Kyle's also not had the best judgment. He's been divorced more than once and dated that shark Audra Charles. Cole thinks Victoria is being a mom, and maybe just a little overprotective. She's made a real friend, and that's what she needs. Victoria knows he's right and promises not to worry anymore. When did you get so wise? She asks. Cole's just trying to be a good dad. Victoria tells him he's a great dad. Just then, Cole gets summoned by Victor to the main house and tells Vicky he'll check back in later. Kyle arrives at Society and sits with Maria and Tessa. They discuss the kidnapping and ask how Harrison's doing. Kyle says they've been lucky. They have lots of support, and Sharon hooked them up with a child therapist. Maria asks how Kyle is doing. Kyle only needs Harrison to be happy. He shows them a photo of the kid smiling and says Claire took the picture. Maria and Tessa recall that she was kidnapped too. Kyle says that surviving together has bonded them. She's even his nanny. Maria gawps, she's what? She points out Claire's history. Kyle says that Harrison adores her and feels safe around her. Tessa asks if she has experience with children. Kyle says she's intuitive and has great energy. She's charming, and it's inspiring to see how positive she is. Maria and Tessa exchange a look. Maria muses that it seems Harrison's not the only one who thinks Claire is special. Tessa trots off with a look, and Maria questions Kyle. I hate that I'm even saying this, but I feel for Summer on this one. As Aria's mom, she would want the best possible nanny for her, not someone whose aunt had just kidnapped her child. Kyle gets it. Maria insists it's nothing against Claire. There are just a lot of qualified candidates, other than someone trying to adjust to their new reality. Kyle, agitated, protests that he's gotten to know Claire. She's strong, honest, and has an intense desire to do the right thing. If he thought there was the slightest risk, he wouldn't push for this. Maria asks, all of this admiration for Claire. Is there maybe something else going on? Kyle asks why she'd accuse him of crushing on the nanny and acts insulted. Maria sincerely hopes that Claire is everything he said and a perfect fit for Harrison. Kyle says she is, as long as Summer doesn't change her mind. At the tack house, Victoria grills Claire about Kyle. She's happy he hired her, but he's a complex guy. She'd like her to have friends outside of work. Claire's only focus right now is being part of the family and living a life she can be proud of. Claire wonders if she was overstepping when she asked her about her relationship with Cole. Victoria says she can ask her about anything. She hopes it's okay to ask Claire questions. Claire says of course. She feels, somehow, like she's known her for her whole life. Victoria says it's a mother/daughter thing. Claire wonders if Cole stopped by to see her, or because he had a good excuse to see Victoria. Victoria blushes and says Cole came for Claire, but maybe a little bit for her. They worry about the impact of Jordan being alive on Nikki, but Claire feels strong and sure about the future. At the ranch, Cole tells Victor that Claire knocked it out of the park on her first day at work. He's sure that's not why he summoned him there. Victor wants to talk about his betrayal. Or do you think I'd forgotten? Cole argues he was protecting him and the family from what might have happened if Jordan had been discovered downstairs. Victor complains he followed him in his own home. You went behind my back. You were about to free Jordan. Cole argues they were going to put her in a maximum security prison. Michael and I were only trying to help. Victor says he's fired Michael Baldwin. Cole is sorry to hear that, but he can't fire him. Victor can tell him to stay away from his family and stay the hell away from my daughter. At Ashley's apartment, Alan explains that he wanted to leave the bar in case his brother showed up. This is a conversation he never wanted to have. But once Ashley told him what happened, my twin, Martin, he's a sociopath. Tracy notes, this is not unlikely as it sounds. Ashley explains she was married to someone in that situation. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Alan's sorry to hear that, and he's sorry his brother found his way into her life. He explains they're not close any longer. Martin has had sociopathic tendencies his whole life. When he was medicated, he was sweet and he was proud of him, but off of them, he's full of angry. Ashley asks why he never told her he had a brother. Alan says they had a big falling out. They moved in together so he could keep an eye on him and guide him a job. Ashley winces and holds her head as Alan describes Martin growing resentful and going off his meds. He became enraged and violent. Tracy and Ashley learned that Martin attacked him. He tried to put him in a facility, but he took off. It's been 2 years trying to find him, but he had to let it go. Tracy clucks that this must be so painful for him. Alan says since Ashley met him, it seems he's still around and keeping track of his connections. Ashley says, he's keeping track of me. Tracy asks why he thinks his brother is keeping track of his connections. Alan explains that he left his phone at his house the week Ashley was in Paris, and his brother must have got in and accessed his phone and contacts. Tracy says that would explain why Ashley spoke to him when she called Alan's phone. Ashley guesses her photo popped up on the phone, and that's how Martin recognized her in the bar. Alan asks Ashley if she remembers anything more from that night. Frustrated, Ashley exclaims that she can't remember anything. Tracy asks Alan what he's thinking. Alan says that given what Martin can be like when he's off his medication, he believes something traumatic might have happened between him and Ashley last night. Ashley points out that she thought she was with Alan that night. Wouldn't she be afraid of him? Alan doesn't know. He supposes it depends what trauma occurred. Tracy says if they find that out, it will not only help Ashley, but it will lead Alan back to his brother. Next on The Young and the Restless, Sally interrupts a moment between Adam and Chelsea. Lily loses patience with Billy, and Mamie stands her ground with Nate.